Hey guys, it's Joce. I am so excited to be bringing you guys a new segment called Science Snacks. In these little snacks, we are going to be providing you a kitchen tip in 1 minute or less that you can use today. And guess what? They're all backed by science. Today's first little science snack will be about avocados and how you can pick the perfect one in the grocery store today. Let's talk about the science behind this little avocado. So the skin isn't as thick as you might think it is. It's actually pretty thin and sunlight can get through it. And that's why the flesh is green. Because the flesh itself, the green flesh, can convert sunlight to energy through a pigment called chlorophyll. There's another pigment in here too called carotenoid, and that's what gives it its goldish hue. That's why you see green flesh kind of on the outermost of the avocado and then golder flesh on the inside. And that's because sunlight doesn't get as far in. But let's talk about how to pick the perfect avocado. Now, of course, you can do it by sight, right? You can look and you can say a green one, less ripe, a blackish one, definitely overripe, purplish one, okay. But how do you tell a difference between, say, these three, where it's kind of green and purple, it's kind of green and purple, and it's kind of green and purple, but all just different shades? I'm gonna teach you a little trick. So if you take off the stem, you can look inside. And inside, if you see like a really vibrant, creamy looking green, it's perfect to eat. Now, if you come down here to one that's underripe, you're still gonna see a little bit of green, but it's not gonna be as vibrant and it's almost gonna look goldish. And that's because of those pigments that we talked about previously. If you come over here and look at one that's overripe, it's gonna almost look dry and brown. And that's one that you don't wanna eat because that means that the flesh inside has turned brown and has started to kind of get into the rotting phase, more so than the really prime, delicious, creamy texture that we're used to in an avocado. And even in this one, where it looks like it may be ripe, but it may not, it's kind of firm, but there's a little bit of a give, you see a really bright green flesh. And that's exactly what you're looking for. It's always difficult to tell because different avocados ripen their skin at different times, but the key is always having this bright green on the inside underneath the stem. And with that, you'll pick the perfect avocado every single time. Okay, so giving you a little bit extra in this little snack segment, I wanna tell you how you can ripen your avocado if you're in a pinch. So there's two ways. So avocados ripen by ethylene gas, right? We talked about this earlier. Basically, that's a gas that your fruit naturally emits. Nothing to be scared of it. It comes off of apples, bananas, every fruit that you eat. But here's what you need to know about it. If you have, say, 1 or 2 days before a big guac party, say Cinco de Mayo, what you're going to want to do is stick a really underripe avocado in a brown paper bag with, say, either a bunch of other avocados or a banana or an apple, so that that ethylene gas that gets released, it gets trapped and it helps ripen your avocados faster. Now, if you're in like a really big pinch, and I mean like you have somebody coming over in an hour and you need to have guac, what you can do is you can take an underripe avocado and you can put it in tin foil, also aluminum foil, because people who work in the aluminum industry would kill me if I didn't say that. You can put it in foil and you can put it in the oven at 200 degrees for about 10 minutes. That's 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And the ethylene gas will release a little bit quicker. Here's the problem with that method though. Because the ethylene gas releases and it doesn't have the same amount of time to ripen all of the different flavors in your avocado, you'll get a much less tasteful avocado. So it'll be soft, but it won't taste as good. And the key tip there is after you put it in the fridge, or after you put it in the oven, make sure you pop it in the fridge so it cools down and still has that creamy texture. Otherwise it'll feel really oily in your mouth. Outside of that, that's how you pick a perfect avocado and get it nice and ripe. Remember to look under the stem. You can always feel, you want one that has a little bit of a give. And then as you're looking on the outside for visual cues, make sure it's bumpy and that it's also a deep purple color, but not black. Thanks guys, stay snacky.
God, we get out the shot.